Hello everybody and welcome to Neverwinter. My name is Alistair and today we're going to be looking at the Bard DPS for the Performer and the Lore Master. So, starting off, looking at the, actually I'll go for Consumables first because one of them's about to run out. So for DPS on the Bard, I will use Squash Soup, Flask of Potency, I'll use a Seer Tuna, and I'll use a Sunlord's Gift Elixir. I just see my Seer Tuna ran out, so I thought I'd just use it now. So looking down through the gear, we've got the Enchanted Death Cured Hat. This might switch, obviously, to the Master one, not the Master, sorry, the Celestial one when I get it. But for now, this does perfectly fine. Chest piece from Emlond. The gloves, I'm going to count into my total stats the accuracy because this is a boss orientated build for the most part, although it can run any, but I am using the detectors set obviously to get my combat advantage up. Now it's because the race I've picked right now is female drow. The reason I picked the drow is actually because I normally play this character as a healer, so this is sort of like a secondary that I sometimes use just for a bit of fun. Now I'm using the Solarum set from the Moon Dancer. I could use obviously the perfect set. I could get the new weapons or Void Touch, but this is going to give me the most amount of flat damage gain and works for my build. Threads of the Arch Thrall for that 15% stats, procced really nicely on this character. And here, as you see, I've got the detectors, got Tyr's lockbox, got Armor Egon, and I've got Night Flame Sensor. Got the combat advantage trousers, flat damage gain shirt, and then obviously the detectors set. I don't think I've got the Constitution. I don't. If I had the Constitution one, I would pick the Constitution one. But right now, this works fine. And then I have got the Twisted Pact, and I have got the Bloodlit Veil. Stats looking like this out of combat, unprocced, but with pods on. So I've got my consumables. Enhancements. Now I'm running Sword Coast Tactician and I'm running Devil's Precision. If I'm in a party with a Paladin, given the crit strike aura, or I'm getting crit strike from another companion, I can switch this off and I can go on something else. Moving across to powers. Right, we'll go through everything before powers. I'm running the power boon, defense boon. Normally I would actually run the I run the movement speed and I might do the boon glitch if I need the extra stats. Campaign boons, just whatever you need, doesn't really matter. And companions, so I've got the Etrine on at the moment because I built around the Etrine, and these are the damage buff and Raptor, Golden Cat. These are what I've got here, obviously for offense. And lastly, in my stable, I've got Infernal Pounce. Interesting enough, I've actually got Mystic Aura equipped. Now, I could run something else, but this is giving the freedom, I built around it, this is giving the freedom to the healer to run something else, or I can change off it if they've got it on, because obviously I can put something else on to give me a few extra stats here or there. Go through to stable. As you see, I've got Tacticians, Executioners, Cavalries, and Artificers. Those three all to help with my cooldowns. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through and I'll show my stats when procced and in combat. So unfortunately with this build, the headpiece does take a little bit of time to proc. As you see here, it'll take 50 seconds. So while we're doing that, we'll look at powers. Over here, I'm running Fletch for the range, and I'm running Con Elemento. Con Elemento gets a massive buff from the feats down at the bottom, which I'll show you in a minute. For a single target, I am using Ad Libidum, Dancing Lights, and Lunge, all of which are going to do nice damage. I've got Lore, and I've got Inspiration. I will very rarely use Inspiration. I'll normally use Lore for my daily power, and I'll drop it nice and early in the artifact call. My two songs that I've got pinned, are Steel March, Tale of Mambo, and Battle of the Hero. I'll normally play Steel March or Tailwind Mambo, and I'll right trigger Ballad of the Hero. So I don't build around playing Ballad of the Hero, and therefore I don't build around the 10% crit severity you get for 20 seconds when you proc a song which isn't in the quick play slot. So I'll tend to just build around it. 3 stats are good and they can be helpful, but I don't particularly need them in this build at the moment, and I will eventually try and find a way to possibly fit them in. I don't like the feeling of having to stop my combat to play a song with the buttons every sort of like 72 seconds, for example, is brilliant. The reason why I picked Steel March in the boss is because it turns your attacks to physical, and you build into physical with your stats, and then it increases the damage dealt as well. And then for AoE, you would use Tailwind Mambo. Down here, Mystifying Strikes, and Masterful Performer, increasing the effects of my at-wills by 50% when not in a quick play slot, which I never play them from a quick play slot. Backup Performer, in case you need to help people with a heal. It's actually not a terrible little heal. Rejuvenating Carol, Elemental Medley, Adieu, Redoublement, and Performer. These two at the end are the really important ones. Performer is what this build's built around, where I can proc again and again and again with luck. Obviously my strikes will come off, my encounter powers will come off cooldown, and I can play them for free. Lore Master, you research, goes into lore, and increases your damage overall. Now, the reason why the Bard is better, the Performer is better for 5-man content is because it doesn't glitch out. So what we're finding at the moment is, in Evenswald especially, it still glitches the boss out, funnily enough. So what I'll do is I'm just going to drop in Hop of an Artifact Call, and I'll go and that's my Artifact Call. As you see, it's nice and effective, pretty potent, and does a good bit of damage. These are my stats. Obviously in combat procced. Combat advantage, as you see, dropped off because I stopped hitting for a little while. But overall, as you see, when I'm playing, you see those little dotted lines that appear around my powers occasionally. That is your Performer kicking in. So there we go. 174, 110, 90, and 120. So the Artifact Call I actually did there, it's a lot less strict than I found with the Ranger, which is not necessarily a bad thing, as the Ranger's Artifact Call can be quite strict, and even more so, I also play the Cleric, and the Cleric's Artifact Call is absolutely monstrous. So what I'll do is I'll run through it roughly what I do, because it does change depending, obviously. I'll make sure my Ballad of the Hero is up. I will play my Y button, and I'll do my encounter power. I'll do 1, 2 of these, then I'll do my Lore Master, then I'll do my Dancing Lights, my lunge again. I'll use my Infernal Pounce, and I'll go back to use my encounter powers, and then normally I would have the ability to press my right bumper and smash it with my guitar, and that's how it ends that rotation. The good thing about the Bard is it's not super strict on how you must throw the rotation. If you throw the rotation slightly out, it's not going to matter too much in Performer, because there's a good chance you're going to get all your encounter powers back and you just spam them like mad. Now, we're now on Lore Master. Now my Lore Master build is a little bit different. As you see, I'll use Crit Severity. I'm also using the boots, the dangerous boots that can kill you, but therefore I'm also using Guardian Spirit to increase my hit points when my hit points are reduced. Now with this build, it's built around a Master Trial build, so I'm expecting certain group buffs, obviously, that I don't have right now. So I need to take that into account when I am doing the stats. So I'm going to go in, play my my things here and there, and still got a bit of time left. Put my owlbear out so I can see roughly the time. Okay, it should be a pretty close representation of how it's been. Yeah, it's about right. So when I'm in a party, in a trial group, the trial group will give me a ton of buffs. As you see here, I am not built like to obviously reach caps with as few companions as possible. I am actually going to be reaching caps with two, a tutor, a flapjack, a portobello for combat advantage, and two tacticians. And my crit strike, sorry, give me a second. Trying to make sure everything says proc so I can see it. As you see, nothing comes off the cooldown super quick. And there we go. So, combat advantage goes up. With all the stats, all the buffs, everything will hit caps, including my crit strike. Now, the only difference between this and the Performer, the Lore Master, is this. The Lore will increase, yes, it is the Lore. As it increases, it'll increase my overall damage output dramatically. So, the rotation is a little bit more strict on this. You definitely want to make sure it goes the right way. So it's Artifact, Dancing Lights, daily. Then it's just using all your encounter powers, your mount, all that stuff when it comes off a cooldown. So, draw Artifact, and then spam these. As you see, I got one of those back. That's brilliant. And then play my loot. There we go. And yeah, Artifact calls over. So it does a good bit of damage. It does. This will not mess the boss up enough. The Artifact call is a little bit more strict, but not much harder overall. The main thing you'll notice is obviously during combat, you're not going to be doing as much damage until it comes up to the Artifact call. The Artifact call, you will do more damage. Anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to obviously pop them in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. That's my bard.